All right, ladies. Let me see if I can approach this subject quickly, but give it some depth. Great question when it concerns that particular verse. It has caused controversy and conversation over time. But let me put it in context. Paul, when writing this particular letter to Corinthians, he was addressing a plethora of things that was happening in the city of Corinth. That church that was established there, man, they were inundated by people who were trying to continue practices or bring practices into their Christian faith that were a part of their secular living. Sexual immorality, sexual practices, what happens in relationships was a part of that. Their view of divorce and what could happen when one is divorced and all of that was bringing into context. Paul is writing this letter, chapter 7, is a response to a lot of these things that came up in chapter 6 that gave us this awareness or implied that there were conversations that people were having with Paul in a letter sent to him about marriage and about relationship. The particular verse that you're talking about, just to get to it, was written in context of Christian living, how one is to look to an eternal progression rather than only earthly. It was talking about being a balanced view of Christianity, and he was essentially saying if one is trying to raise their status as a Christian, trying to make themselves look better as a Christian by getting married, then they should stay unmarried. You should not try to balance or you shouldn't try to heighten your perception of your Christian faith by marrying someone. Nor should you be pressed into marriage because other people are telling you that it's going to make you look more saved, it's going to make you look more pure, it's going to make you look as if you're pursuing Jesus more because you are no longer single, and those who are who have a grasp on their sexual desires get married, and now they pursue being connected to someone, or going against the taboo of saying that, if you're not married, that must mean you're living this loose single life. And Paul is saying, no, man, hold tight to who Jesus is, in the fact, man, that your focus, your sights should be set on him. You should not be forced into marriage by an inward desire to appear something more on the outside. That you should find strength in the fact that Christ gives you the authority to be married if you so desire within yourself. You yourself shouldn't force yourself into being married because you think that's going to make you look more righteous or that's going to raise your social standing. And nor should you be ashamed of being single because you think that people are going to think certain things about you because of stereotypes and what other people are doing. You have the authority. Now, you have to challenge how you think about being single. You can't, that Paul warns against living a duplicitous life. We can't say, well, I'm single and I love Jesus, and our singleness exposes us that, man, maybe my heart ain't always turned towards Jesus with how I function in the freedoms of being single. There's things that Paul talks about in the whole of it that we got to be challenged in what we do with our bodies, what we do with our mind, what we do in our worship. So that being said, it's 4 minutes. This is enough. Is that Paul, man, wanted to press into the believers this understanding. Your ultimate person that you're trying to appease is Jesus. You are not trying to appease people. You're not trying to get social clout. You're not trying to get hierarchy in the church. But he also, man, if you continue to read up, if you read back up, you'll see, man, he's also saying that there is something about pursuing marriage that allows the truth of your desires and your heart and your and who God has made you to be. There is a pursuit in that if you try to if you try to hold that in, it's going to leak out somewhere else. So I'm gonna give you that, and then we can get back together and we can chop it up again.